Hello everyone and welcome to the next best of 3 in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 2 Finals. We are back in Group A with playday number 2 and we're going to start that one with the Dutch Orc player Grubby, spawning here at the bottom in red, who has started successfully into these finals, beating Hot with a 2-1 score on playday number 1. He is starting with the altar, the burrow, and by the looks of it, given that the rally point is here, the barracks third, and his opponent at the top of Secret Valley in yellow is the German undead player HasuObs, who has not started as successfully. He's going with a Fiend build here, and he had to concede on the first playday against Lin, being beaten by Lin with a 2-0 map score. And now he's facing the second world-class Orc player in a row. Not the most fortunate situation for him, given that he was just known for being extremely weak in the Undead versus Orc matchup. We'll see if he's going to be able to score any better in this best of 3. And we'll also keep a look on his strategy come late game, given that we've seen him go for a pretty unconventional Crypt Lord second and Mass tier 2 push with a lot of Carrion Beetles against Lin, which for a moment looked to be quite challenging for the Korean Orc player. Not quite sure if Grubby is aware of that strategy of HasuObs, just generally speaking, as well as, you know, in case it was just a new strategy for these finals. I also don't know if Grubby was aware of what happened in the match between HasuObs and Lin, given that Grubby had to play his own best of 3 against Hot on playday number 1. So Grubby with the second burrow here. Burrow is very, very passively placed, so he's going to have them somewhat safe from Fiend attacks, somewhat difficult to access, but at the same time those aren't going to contribute all too much against a potential attack of the undead opponent. Also, he's going for the shop here before starting his tier 2 tag, so he's not cutting any corners. He's going to have the regularly timed tier 2 tag, but he's going to have the shop early on, so he's going to be able to grab heal salves soon, and he's not going to have to rely on the heal fountains for healing early on. So perhaps he's going to gain a little bit of mobility on the map. We can see he's going to wait a little bit here. In the meantime, the Death Knight is out for HasuObs. He's going to start creeping here. Bought Dust and Rot as usual. Second Fiend is out. We'll keep an eye on the tech timing of HasuObs, of course, as well. Grubby's getting a third grunt here before starting his tech. He's up at 26 supplies, so his tech is going to be delayed by a little bit as well. So that's okay. Bit of a different approach here. Looks like he wants to be able to at least somewhat keep up with the large number of fiends that HasuObs is going to get here early on. HasuObs' third fiend is also about to spawn, and thus far, every time we've seen an undead player going for a fiend build with a late Death Knight, they have tagged extremely late, and they have gotten a lot of fiends out on the map early on. So Grubby now starting his tier 2 tag. HasuObs continues creeping, taking the same camps thus far as his opponent, but Grubby an entire orange camp ahead with Gauntlets of Ogre Strength and Claws, whereas for HasuObs, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength have dropped as well, and he's going to get another drop from the Murloc camp. Grubby, I'm assuming he's going to get the boots here. Tome of Health has dropped for the DK. And 29 supply Fiend is already in production for the undead player. He's pulling another creep camp here, but immediately one of the fiends gets ensnared. Grubby at first attacking this one in the back, but now switching his focus fire to this fiend, which cannot be microed, and immediately he's surrounding it with 4 of his own units. One of his grunts gets ensnared, but HasuObs decides to focus the Blade Master, not the grunt. Now he's going for the grunt, and as you can see, he's taking a lot of damage. There is no speed scroll on this Blade Master, so actually this grunt is perhaps going to fall as well. The Orc player trying to surround the Death Knight here, but that's not going to happen. One more hit on the coil is going to do it, but now the coil is on cooldown for this fiend, so HasuObs has to get this block in, and he successfully does so. Dust is coming in, coil is coming just in time for the fiend to survive, but well, the Death Knight is down to one Fiend and one Coil, excuse me. And 2 of the Fiends are extremely low in HP, so it looks like HasuObs doesn't dare pulling the creeps here once more as the grunts are still roaming around, as the Blade Master with his last heal salve is getting some HP back. Looks like Grubby doesn't know about the whereabouts of his undead opponent's army, so he's checking for the null camp, which I guess is a likely location, but now he's found him, heal salve cancelled. And is HasuObs actually gonna pull the creeps again? Did he leave the low HP Fiends in the base? Yes, he did. Tier 2 tech on the way in the meantime. Excuse me. Wow, this is looking really critical here. A lot of units of Grubby are about to get surrounded. At the same time, he's getting the 3 units around against the Fiend here, against the tree, but he has to open it up, has to move away with the Blade Master. Now, HasuObs trying to go for this round on one of the grunts, but at the same time, 2 of his Fiends are extremely low. And the next Fiend is in some trouble. Blade Master does not yet have mana for another Windwalk, so he has to stay very, very careful. The Fiend is trying to escape to the main base, but now there's going to be 75 mana again on the Blade Master. He's immediately going for the Windwalk, and is the Fiend going to get in range of the Nerubian Tower? No, it isn't. The Blade Master was revealed, but yeah, not in any danger here of dying since there was no slow. Coil is just now going to be available again. Blade Master at least is going to be out of the battle for the moment, as he's very low on HP and there are no more heal salves remaining, so he's gonna head towards the heal fountain. In the meantime, tier 2 finished. Double Beastry for Grubby. And a SH second. Creeps are being pulled once again. Blade Master is coming back from the heal fountain right now, but he's only at half of his HP, so Grubby really doesn't want to give level 3 here to the undead player, and I guess he's probably right in doing so. He's keeping the pressure up with the grunts. Of course, he's not going to do anything significant with those as long as the Blade Master isn't around. And speaking of the Blade Master, he's immediately taking a lot of damage again. I guess he just wants to win time for his Shadow Hunter to come out, for, you know, his map control finally to come into play before HasuObs is able to finish these creeps off. He really doesn't want to give the level 3 to the Death Knight here. And if he's able to stop HasuObs from getting that, then I think this is going to be a very, very successful early game in total for the Orc player, as he has killed 2 Fiends already, he lost the grunt, he's got a decent, well, a little bit of an XP advantage, and now the Shadow Hunter is out, heal salve used, clarity used on the Blade Master. Is he going to be able to, in time to steal the Ogre Matcher? Actually, there's 73 mana on the Death Knight. He uses the dust, but he cannot use a coil to finish off the Ogre Matcher, and Grubby steals the Wand of Mana Stealing, steals the mana from the Death Knight just as he reached 75 mana, and he's killing another Fiend thanks to thanks to the Hex here, and thanks to the sheer damage output of this army. So that was another setback for the Undead, losing the Ogre Matcher, losing the item, and losing another Fiend. And now, well, the Lich is about to spawn, so at least there's gonna be some claim for HasuObs to still go out the map as soon as Frost Armor is available. But Grubby with the double Beastry, I didn't even get to talk about it yet because there's just so much action happening here. With a double Beastry and a couple of Raiders very, very early on, he's going to be just claiming map control even harder than he'd do with one Beastry and one Spirit Lodge. And Hex on the Lich prevents Frost Armor on that Fiend. Death Knight still was out of mana. Once again, he's getting close to 75. And this time there's no Wand of Mana Stealing anymore to stop the Death Knight from getting a coil. But another Fiend has fallen. That is Fiend number 4. And now the second of the contested middle camps is going to go to the Orc without any question about it. Basically, Clarity Potion used. Guess the Blade Master is going to be around here to harass some more. We'll see how much damage he's going to be able to do, how much he's going to be able to steal. HasuObs seeing the double Beastry here. Wormel is coming, so I guess eventually against a large number of Fiends there might be a Kodo Beast added. One of the creeps went to the Blade Master, and the Gloves of Haste went to the Blade Master as well. So one of the assassins went to the Blade Master. The Overseer got coiled down by the DK. Still, dream scenario for Grubby. Blade Master is looking very strong. He's at level 3.5. The SH should be able to reach level 3 in just a second after he's finished creeping here. And HasuObs is going to have a difficult time even getting level 3-1 on his 2 heroes. Slaughterhouse finished in the meantime. Tier 3 is coming. Cigarette for 50 supplies in production just now. Blade Master, yeah, continues roaming around here, just stopping the undead from getting anything significant done. Looks like now the majority of the undead army is going to try and sneak towards the natural expansion. Not sure if Grubby intentionally got those creeps to use Bloodlust earlier, but I think that may have been just a scout skeleton by HasuObs, not actually Grubby. And speaking of Grubby, he is getting the expansion right now, as we can see on the minimap. The Blade Master is there to creep check, and the rest of his army is coming in as well. Another creep stolen here. That was the last Windwalk though. He's not getting surrounded. There's still the Invo Potion, which I guess he's gonna probably use soon. 4 Raiders are coming in, and he isn't even forced to use the Invo Potion. Heat Wave is coming in, saving the life of this Raider, and a Town Portal gone from the undead player right now as well. The Blade Master, even though he doesn't have mana, he's going to continue making sure to find the undead on his creeping endeavors, and he's going to be there with the perfect timing. HasuObs seeing it, and basically HasuObs, okay, he bought a new Town Portal. I was about to say basically he has to run back to his main right now. Looks like Grubby is going to do that for him though, sweeping in. Let's see what he's going to be able to pick off. Let's see if he's got pillage here already. Looks like he doesn't. Okay, and it looks like HasuObs is gonna commit to a straight up fight in front of his base here. First Kodo is with the army in the meantime as well. See if a Fiend is going to be eaten. Yes, because Ensnare prevents HasuObs from running away with that one. Finally, the first Raider on the side of HasuObs is falling. That gives level 3 to the Death Knight. So the Blade Master has to be a little bit careful. He is still revealed. There is mana for a coil right now again. So, okay, Heat Wave is coming in. Before that, another Raider is falling. The majority of ghouls, of which HasuObs got quite a couple of, is now down. The next Raider is falling though, so Grubby isn't trading as favorably as he probably would have wished to, but still, there's just so few units left standing on the side of the undead. Is Destroy upgrade coming, by the way? I don't think so. I don't think it's finished yet. I don't think tier 3 has been finished for long enough. Next Nova is coming in. The next Raider, the last Raider actually, for the time being, is gonna fall here. And yeah, Grubby is the one who's forced to Town Portal out, so I think he killed a lot of units here, but he also lost plenty of them. Which, you know, I think is fine for him, because his expansion is about to start running. And with only, let's see, what does HasuObs have? 2 heroes, level 3 and 2 fiends and a statue. Okay, and 2 ghouls. He's not gonna be able to kill this expansion. And given how hard Grubby committed to this push, I think the expansion was quite an obvious call. So even though I think HasuObs didn't scout it, he's heading right there, maybe trying to save the PN here, but doesn't do so. And he's going straight for the hero focus on his Death Knight. Look at the damage output. DP or Invo Potion is used at first, but yeah, still, this is not a fight that HasuObs has any chance of winning. Fiend is getting killed, Town Portal has been pulled, and what is the undead player supposed to do right now? Grubby with a great level advantage, 4 and 4 in just a second against 3-2. Supply advantage of, wow. For a second there, he almost doubled the supply. Supply advantage of about 20 right now for the Orc. Expansion running. Everything is going smoothly for the Orc. More Raiders coming in. 4 Wind Riders, of course, given that he didn't have web, was also too much to deal with. Well, when he pushed, there were only 2, but that was quite the threat in itself already. And the Flute of Accuracy found for the Orc, who might get creep checked here, which could be, well, could that be painful? I think even if he gets creep checked here, he'd still just crush the undead. I don't think this is a fight that HasuObs can actually take. And the red camp is already gone, basically. Cloak of Flames passed to the Blade Master. And yeah, that's when you know it's really bad. If you're finding the opponent creep a red camp and you still have to run away. By the way, 0-2 upgrades on the Wind Riders, an attack upgrade on the Raiders and Grunts as well. And now Grubby is going for it again. Scroll of the Beast has been used. The first statue has been taken down immediately, and Snare on the statues. Destroy upgrade isn't finished anyway, so never mind. But yeah, Grubby is just swooping through here. There are 2 units left standing besides the heroes for the undead. The Lich is in a bit of trouble. Finally, the Kodo at least gets taken down. Now the Fiend gets killed though. The Lich is dead. And yeah, the last Fiend is about to bite it. The Death Knight is about to bite it. GG from HasuObs in a game that turned out to be not exactly close. Yeah, right from the beginning, when HasuObs tried to creep the Goblin Merchant, I think yeah, Grubby started to just pull ahead. Pretty interesting choice by him to slightly delay his tech to get the 3rd grunt out early. I guess just to be able to apply some more pressure to the creeping of HasuObs, who also was relying on a lot of units early on and a lot of creeping. Yeah, Grubby ended up getting, you know, 1 grunt killed, but in return killing the first 2 fiends and then 2 more as the Shadow Hunter started contributing. And yeah, at that point, coupled with the fact that he was able to steal so much from the undead army just with his Blade Master, yeah, just due to those two facts, Grubby was just so far ahead in the middle game already. And with the expansion coming, yeah, there was just nothing to do for HasuObs anymore. There's not really anything else to say. Strategically here, pretty one-sided game, pretty yeah, straight up victory for Grubby. And map number 2 is gonna be the formerly mentioned Tarina Stand, where HasuObs went for the Crypt Lord second. We'll see if he's gonna do that again, and we'll see if he's gonna be able to tie the series.